Listening Comprehension, Vietnamese Standardized Test of English Proficiency. In this section of the test, you will have an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to understand conversations and talks in English. There are 3 parts in this section with special directions for each part. Answer all the questions on the basis of what is stated or implied by the speakers in the recording. There will be time for you to read the instructions and you will have a chance to check your work. The recording will be played once only. Time allowance is about 40 minutes, including 5 minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet. Part 1. Questions 1 to 8. Directions. In this part, you will hear 8 short announcements, or instructions. There is 1 question for each announcement or instruction. For each question, choose the right answer, A, B, C or D. Then, on the answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer that you have chosen. Now, let's listen to an example. On the recording, you will hear:
Hello. This is the travel agency returning your call. You left a message about the holiday you've booked, asking which meals are included in the cost during your stay at Sunny Hotel. Lunch and dinner are free, but if you wish to have breakfast in the hotel, you will need to pay an extra amount of money, depending on what you order. Let me know if I can help you with any other information. Goodbye.
On the test book, you will read, which meal is not included in the price of the holiday. A. Breakfast. B. Lunch. C. Dinner. D. All. The correct answer is A. Breakfast. Now, let's begin with the first question. First, you'll have some time to read the questions 1 to 8. Question 1.
Hello, this is Gloria with Dr. Bob's office. This is a reminder of your dental appointment for Thursday, May 22nd at 1 p.m. Since you have several cavities to fill, please allow yourself at least 3 hours for the visit.
Question 2.
Why has the meeting been relocated?
Because the South Tower is undergoing renovations, the design team meeting scheduled for tomorrow morning has been moved to the North Tower conference room on the 12th floor. The meeting will still be held at 10.
Question 3.
What is the main cause of decreased domestic sales?
Unfortunately, I must report that domestic sales have dropped by 17% over the last 2 quarters. Although the sluggish domestic economy is a factor, the primary cause of this worrying development is increasing competition in the retail clothing sector.
Question 4.
What should the listeners do before they skate?
This weekend is the first outing of the inline skating club for the season. Remember, you are not allowed to skate with the club unless you wear an approved safety helmet. You can ask Ria, the safety coordinator, if you are unsure about your gear.
Question 5.
What profession does the speaker work in?
As a woman and sports announcer, I'm often approached about giving speeches on women in sports.
Question 6.
What is the purpose of Ricardo's visit?
Ricardo will be here in the U.S. for 3 months observing some of the managerial techniques and procedures we use at this office.
Question 7.
What kind of business would be making this announcement?
In order to improve customer service, we will be initiating a customer satisfaction survey. The survey will focus on several different areas, including courtesy and promptness by waiters or waitresses, cleanliness, and food quality and selection.
Question 8.
Why has confidence increased?
Investor confidence was bolstered by government data indicating inflation rose by barely 0.2% last quarter, meaning that the national bank is unlikely to raise interest rates.
That is the end of part 1. Part 2. Questions 9 to 20. In this part, you will hear 3 conversations. The conversations will not be repeated. There are 4 questions for each conversation. For each question, choose the correct answer. A, B, C, or D. Questions 9 to 12 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 9 to 12.
Our copier has been acting strangely today. Could you come and take a look at it for us?
Okay, but did you check to see if any paper is jammed inside?
Yes, I did, but that's not the problem. I think the problem may be more serious.
All right, but I have to run across town this morning to fix a machine there, so I don't think I can make it to your office until after lunch.
Questions 13 to 16 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 13 to 16.
Hi there. I'm having trouble finding this certain book on medieval German nobility.
Let me check on the computer. It appears that we don't have it.
Oh no, it was really important for an essay I'm working on right now.
Well, we have a central computer system that is connected to the other university libraries in the state. I can search them all to see where your book is, then order it from the nearest university. You could borrow it from another library.
That would be great. How long will it take?
We can usually get a book here in 2 or 3 days, but the lending period is shorter than for a normal book, only 10 days instead of 2 weeks. And if you're late returning books from other libraries, the overdue fine is a lot larger.
I won't be late. But does it cost anything to sign out books from other libraries?
Not for up to 5 books. Any more than that, and you would have to pay a small service charge.
Questions 17 to 20 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 17 to 20.
What's the matter, Jane?
Oh, I was supposed to meet James for a study session at 4, but he's late.
James is like that. I always give myself an extra 15 minutes or so whenever I have an appointment with him.
That's not a bad idea. I'd like to have him waiting for me for a change.
Yeah, some people are just irresponsible like that. I remember once he was actually late for the exam, nearly 20 minutes late, and he just comes walking in like there's nothing wrong. He wasn't worried or anything.
I can't imagine myself being like that. I always leave myself extra time just to make sure I'm always ready and on time.
Oh, there he comes now.
It's about time.
How long are you guys planning on studying?
Pretty late. We have a big chemistry test tomorrow, and I'm really behind.
Well, maybe I'll see you later. I have to get some work done at the library, too.
That is the end of part 2. Part 3. Questions 21 to 35. In this part, you will hear 3 talks, lectures or conversations. The talks, lectures or conversations will not be repeated. There are 5 questions for each talk, lecture or conversation. For each question, choose the right answer. A, B, C or D. Questions 21 to 25 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 21 to 25.
you believe Professor Kensington postponed the due date for the term paper this morning? It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it was crazy. I've been spending days and nights in the computer lab writing up that paper. I only did that because he kept on emphasizing that he won't take any paper that's not in his office by noon today.
I heard that too. Jessica and I stayed up half the night trying to finish it. I think it was 3 o'clock in the morning when we finally had the third draft. I barely had any sleep.
You had Jessica to help you? At least you had someone to proofread your paper and help you with the research. It was a nightmare for me. I didn't even have time to proofread my paper.
Well, I'm really upset that Professor Kensington was so inconsiderate. Don't you agree?
I guess it was a hasty change, but I think he did it for us students.
You really didn't get enough sleep, did you? You're not thinking straight. I can't possibly see how I can understand his hasty decision that way.
Well, as much as I'm unhappy with his last-minute decision, I think he did it so that we could have one more chance to look over our work before turning it in. Besides, an extension of 2 days isn't going to change anything drastic in our papers.
I suppose. Still, I would have had more time to study for the calculus exam, which was today, if I hadn't had to spend so much time and energy on that paper.
Oh well, at least he didn't tell us to hand it in earlier.
That's right. Anyway, I'm not going to spend another 2 days on the assignment. I'm handing it in after the next class.
Questions 26 to 30 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 26 to 30.
Professor Atkins, could I get some help with my chemistry lab?
Certainly, Julie. What's the problem? Are you having trouble understanding some of the experiments?
Oh no, I understand the experiment. Perhaps I only think that I understand it.
What do you mean? Do you or don't you?
Well, I tried the latest experiment by myself based on what I understood from your lectures and lab session, but I seem to come up with really different results from what the textbook indicates I should be getting.
That certainly is a possibility. Remember, the textbook tends to give you an ideal explanation of the experiments, but in real life, any number of factors can cause you to get results that might not be the ideal or preferred outcome.
Oh, that's good. So any result is acceptable?
No, of course there is a range. For this particular experiment, I'd expect your answer to be within, let's see now, perhaps 4 or 5% of the textbook.
Really? My answer was nearly 10% off. Wouldn't that be all right?
I'm sorry, but that would be a problem. If your answer were that far from the proper answer, and say that even if you could explain the difference, I would have to lower your grade significantly.
I see. All right. I guess I'm going to have to redo it. I want to do well in your class and can't afford to get a bad grade.
Very good. But you'll have to hurry. The lab is due Friday, and I won't be giving any extensions.
Oh, I was hoping...
Yes?
Oh, it's nothing. Well, could you please sign a permission slip for me to use the lab after hours? I only have time during late evenings this weekend.
Sure. I'll do that for you right now. Here you go. And a tip. Before you start the experiment, wipe the test tubes with alcohol. There might be unwanted residue inside that might be affecting the result.
Questions 31 to 35 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 31 to 35.
We'll be looking into the largest state in America, Alaska. If you look at the location of Alaska on the map, you can see that it is bordered by Canada on the east, the Arctic Ocean on the north, the Bering Strait and Bering Sea to the east, and the Gulf of Alaska. Wait a minute, sorry about that. To the west, and the Gulf of Alaska to the south. And as you can see on the map, Alaska has a greater land area than California and Texas combined. Now, although there are many cities in Alaska, the population is so low that an average number of students in a middle school classroom is only about 10. You can imagine many desolate small towns scattered around Alaska. It's probably because roads and railways serve only certain portions of the state. So it's natural that Alaskans rely heavily on airplanes for transportation, since many parts of Alaska are accessible only via air. Well, of course, there is a railway operating between Fairbanks, a relatively big city in central Alaska, and Seward, a city on the southern coast. It is much more popular than the only major highway in Alaska, the Alaska Highway, which is open throughout the year. Not that there's much traffic. One does not need to venture far to understand the reason for its sparse population. Even though cold climate and other factors make most of Alaska a less than desirable location for farming, agriculture is conducted in a few areas between Fairbanks and the southern coast. Most of the food Alaskans need, however, must be imported from outside the state. Also, Alaska is subject to strong earthquakes and occasional volcanic activity. Your textbook describes the explosion of the Alaskan volcano Mount Katmai in the early 20th century as one of the most famous and violent volcanic eruptions in history. I strongly suggest you read up on that chapter, as we'll be touching on some of that the next time. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, earthquakes. These occasional earthquakes generate seismic sea waves called tsunamis. As you may have heard, these waves can reach far inland and destroy communities along the shore. It wasn't much different from the terrible tsunami of 2004.
This is the end of the listening paper. Now, you have 5 minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet. Listening Comprehension, Vietnamese Standardized Test of English Proficiency. In this section of the test, you will have an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to understand conversations and talks in English. There are 3 parts in this section with special directions for each part. Answer all the questions on the basis of what is stated or implied by the speakers in the recording. There will be time for you to read the instructions and you will have a chance to check your work. The recording will be played once only. Time allowance is about 40 minutes, including 5 minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet.
May I have your attention, please? Please be advised that there has been a change in the conference schedule. The speaker for the 2 o'clock presentation has a family emergency, so he won't be able to make it. So, please note that there is no presentation at 2.
One.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Shakespeare Theatre for the play The Course of Love. The show will take about 2.5 hours and there will be an intermission. During the intermission, refreshments can be purchased in the lobby. All the lights will be turned off shortly, so please remain seated. After the show, the director and leading characters will appear on the stage to share their ideas about the play. Thank you and enjoy the show.
2.
Good morning, passengers. Welcome on board First Express Bus. My name is John Nixon, and I'm your driver for your journey to Hampton today. The trip normally takes 1.5 hours. However, I just got a message from the main office that there is heavy traffic congestion on Highway 5R due to road construction. Therefore, it will take an extra 30 minutes to get to our destination. Thank you for your attention and enjoy the ride.
3.
This is 101.5 PQBS Radio. The weather is beautiful, and a lot of families are out in the downtown area to celebrate the 78th Memorial Day. Starting at 1 p.m., Oak Street will be closed because of the Memorial Day events. Heavy traffic delays are expected, so I would recommend avoiding the downtown area. I'll keep you posted about the traffic conditions. Next up is our correspondent, Kelly Diaz. She will be telling us more about the events today.
4.
Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, James Parker. Today we'll be talking to the winner of the Anderson Music Awards, Brantley Lee. His new album, released this May, is becoming popular all around the world. Right now, let's listen to the title song, Why Can't You? And then he will join us for an interview about his new album and Asian tours scheduled for December.
5.
Good afternoon, IAO International employees. I called this meeting to share some good news. We've finally achieved this quarter's sales goals for funds and stocks. I'd like to tell you how much I appreciate your exceptional work. I know that you've been working hard to get contracts with investors for the last few months. Therefore, management has decided to give you a bonus this month. Thank you again for your hard work.
6.
Hello, everyone. I have an announcement to make. I've just been told that Robert Gray, the general manager of North America, will be visiting our restaurant tomorrow. It is very important to make a great impression on him. Since cleanliness is a critical factor when it comes to the restaurant business, I would like you all to stay a little late tonight after business hours to clean the restaurant. I will make sure that you get paid overtime. If you have any questions, talk to me anytime. Thank you.
7.
Here is a graph that shows our market shares in different regions of the country. You can see that one of our regions occupies a very small market share. This problem stands out since the other 3 regions are doing a lot better this year. I am so sorry to announce this, but we have finally decided to close down the operations in the region where sales are much lower than the other regions. This decision was inevitable due to the increase in labor costs and the increased competition in the market. For those of you who have been working in this region, we will make every effort to minimize the damage that could possibly happen to you.
8.
Welcome to this special gathering in honor of Dr. Thomas Joyce, who is leaving the Seattle Medical Center after 30 years of employment. While we are very sad to see Dr. Joyce leave, tonight is about celebrating his service and the growth that he has brought to the organization. As we all know, he started his medical career here and had been working as the director of the Organ Donation Center for 10 years. Now that he is stepping down, he is planning to continue his career by teaching students at the Seattle Medical School.
Good afternoon. Can I help you?
Yes. I'm looking for a gift for my sister. She's going to be 18 next week, so I thought a piece of jewelry would be nice.
Good idea. Do you have anything particular in mind? A necklace, perhaps?
She has so many necklaces. I was thinking of a pair of earrings, possibly.
Does she have a favorite color?
She likes blue.
What about this pair? They have some beautiful little blue stones.
They're quite nice, I suppose.
They're silver, and they're handmade, so you won't find anything like them anywhere else.
Oh, really? So, how much are they?
Well, they were £30, but actually we've got a sale on at the moment, so they're a little cheaper, only £20. So you can save £10.
Great. I'll take them.
And would you like me to gift wrap them for you?
How much do you charge for that?
For £4, we give you a pretty box and your own choice of wrapping paper. Or for £5, you can have our luxury wrapping service, which includes a silver box and silver ribbon. And if you would like a card to write your own personal message, that will be £2 extra.
Well, it's a special birthday, so I'll take the luxury option. But I already have a card, thank you.
That's fine. I'll do that for you now. And how would you like to pay, cash or card?
So, how's your very first week at university going, Rita? It's orientation week for all you new students, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. Orientation week. Yes, it's great fun. There are so many different events going on to help us make friends and find our way around the university. And to get around the city, come to that. But you'll remember all that, John. You were a new student once.
That's true. I remember I went on a walking tour of the city on my first day, and I think some students did a bus tour.
Well, I did a bike tour. I was sent an email about it, and I decided to sign up. There were only 8 places, and there were 7 other names on the list already, so I got the very last place.
I didn't know you had a bike.
I don't have a bike, but that didn't matter. We all hired them from a little cycle hire shop on Barkway Street. You probably know the place.
Barclay Street? Do you mean the Barclay Street on campus?
No, it's Barkway Street. Barkway. Number 22 Barkway Street, to be exact. It was great. We could choose a traditional bike or an electric one.
So I take it you went electric?
Yes, of course I did. Well, think about it. Why ride a traditional bike when you can get around the city much faster on an electric one? And because there was a group of us, it wasn't too expensive. In fact, the cycle hire was only $120 for the whole group. So the cost was only $15 per person, and that was for 3 whole hours.
Did you say $50?
No, $15. So I thought it was really quite cheap. And I didn't have to bring along a helmet to wear either. That was included. And we also got a lock. So it was easy to park our bike safely when we wanted to stop and take a break.
Sounds good. Have you got the website address of the place you got your bike from? I quite like the idea of doing a bike tour.
Yes, it's a really easy one to remember. It's tradeelectric.com.
Can you say that again?
Trade Electric. TRADELECTRIC. All one word, .com.
Thanks, Rita.
No problem. Hey, maybe we can do a bike tour together. I'd love to cycle as far as the harbour next time.
Great. That's a date then.
Have you got the results from the survey we did? About the changes that have been made to Ashtown in the last 25 years, Bill?
Yes, Jane, and there've been a lot of changes. Some of them people are happy about, and some of them they aren't.
What, for example?
Well, for example, the bus system used to be much better. And even though the old, uncomfortable buses have been replaced with new, stylish ones, fewer people use them.
Why is that?
A lot of people think it's because fares are higher, but that isn't true. In fact, the cost compared to average salaries is pretty much the same as 25 years ago. The fact is that the buses now just go to the most popular destinations, and as the city centre no longer allows vehicles, there are even fewer places where buses can go.
Most people must be happy with fewer cars in the town centre, though.
I'm not so sure. 5 years ago, a bypass was supposed to be built so that people could easily get from one side of the town to the other without going into the centre, but those plans still haven't happened. The biggest success, in my opinion, is the building of areas for cyclists. Far more people are travelling by bike and using the facilities than anybody could have imagined.
That's all very interesting, but how have the jobs that people do in the city changed? That's sure to have had an impact on what the town looks like.
You're not wrong there. The town used to be a lot more polluted due to all of the products that were made in factories here. Manufacturing is still important, of course, and services such as accountancy firms and website developers employ a lot of people in the town, but you only have to see the number of universities and colleges that have opened in the town in the last 25 years to see that is where most of the jobs are now.
Okay, now shall we have a look at how some of the buildings have changed?
I think that, first of all, we should look at how the railway station has changed. As there are now fewer buses, more people drive to the railway station to take a train. 25 years ago, the car park was much smaller, and although it might not look very modern, most of the spaces have only been there for 5 years.
Oh yes, didn't the cinema used to be quite near the railway station? I suppose they built more spaces when they knocked it down.
That's right. The Grand Cinema used to be next to the railway station, but they rebuilt one exactly the same as the old one over in King Street.
Hello, everyone. So, can you all hear me and see me? Okay. My name's David Edwards, and I'm your tour leader for your shopping tour today. Now, as you can see, we're parked just in front of the main theater. If any of you would like tickets for tonight's performance, we can arrange that for you. We're just round the corner from the railway station. If you want to come on our historic buildings tour tomorrow, the coach will leave from just outside the station. And if you want to go for a drink at the end of our tour today, there are plenty of cafes just behind the station. We're still waiting for a few people, but while we wait, I can tell you a little about the theater. Although the building is very modern, in fact, a theater has existed on this site for over 200 years. The original theater used to be very popular because of the musicals it put on. However, it had to be rebuilt after a fire. Some people love the striking modern design, others hate it. These days, its popularity is mainly due to the fact that it attracts a lot of well-known performers. Now, in a few minutes' time, at 9:30, we'll be starting our tour. First, we're going to make our way down to Marketplace, which is one of the most famous squares in the city. That should take us about 10 minutes. There's not too much traffic on the roads, so we should get there at 9:45 at the latest. Marketplace was the city's old food market. People used to come in from the countryside to sell their fresh fruit and vegetables. Remember that these were the days before supermarkets. You won't find any food here now, though. It's now a craft market, and I think you'll find lots to interest you, especially if you want to take presents home. You'll see all kinds of things like hand-painted local pottery and leather goods. Personally, I suggest that you visit the jewelry stalls. You really won't find anything like it anywhere else. But if you're looking for clothes, I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. Wait for this afternoon's visit. We'll stop at Marketplace for an hour and a half, and then continue the tour with a visit to the Regional Food Center. Here you can find over 50 types of local cheeses. There is also fresh fruit juice on sale. Orange juice, peach juice, pomegranate juice, produced in the villages of the region, and local jam, too. You're welcome to buy things to take home with you, but the real reason for our visit is lunch. The idea is that you buy food and drink from the stalls and take it to eat in the lovely open-air dining area. And finally, in the afternoon, we will be visiting the fashion fair in the exhibition center on the outskirts of the city. This is a huge venue, so try not to get lost. There is a whole hall devoted just to footwear. Every kind of shoes and boots you can imagine. You can easily find it because it has a green roof. Just don't go through the blue doors at the entrance of the center. You have to pay for that part of the exhibition. And if all that shopping has exhausted you, there's a cafe where you can rest your weary feet. That's in the building with a red sign. But don't worry, I'll remind you all about that later. Right, everyone's here now, so if you've all got your shopping bags, let's go.
Good morning, everyone. In today's lecture, I want to talk to you about a very unpopular animal here in Britain. In fact, you could say that it's one of our least loved animals. It's called the American bullfrog, and yes, it does in fact come from America, the east of America to be exact. And it was brought to Britain in the early 19th century, so you could say that it's been here for quite a long time. It wasn't brought here on purpose. It actually arrived in a big container of aquatic plants. In other words, it was accidentally introduced into Britain. Now, I'll tell you a little about its appearance. The American bullfrog is a very large and ugly species of frog. And when I say it's large, I mean large. Interestingly, female American bullfrogs are usually much larger than the males. In fact, they can weigh up to 750 grams, whereas the males only go up to about 600 grams. Take a look at its head. It's really broad and flat, isn't it? And you can see its mouth just here. That's quite large too. Now, both the male and the female American bullfrogs have green or brown bodies and have dark spots on the top. But there's one important difference between them. The male's throat is yellow, but the female has a white one instead. And the other difference is their eardrums, here, just behind their eyes. Those of the male are much larger than the females. So let's move on to why we so dislike the American bullfrog. Well, this is because it has threatened our own native species of frogs. Firstly, it breeds very quickly indeed. For example, female bullfrogs can lay up to 25,000 eggs every single season. And secondly, the American bullfrog is very greedy. In fact, they eat just about anything they can put into their mouths. As well as other frogs, they eat insects, fish, and have even been known to eat birds and snakes. So, in other words, they eat the food sources of our own native species. Thirdly, they carry a disease that is dangerous to other frogs. And finally, they don't just damage our natural world, they cause financial damage too. Around £100,000 has been spent monitoring the American bullfrog in the wild. So, as scientists, we can learn a lesson from this about the dangers of introducing any living species into a new environment.
While fracking is being used around the world, we've seen that there are serious concerns about it. What's clear is that fracking isn't the answer to the growing worldwide need for energy, as countries increase their consumption. Already the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has reached 400 parts per million. This may not seem very high, but we have to remember that 200 years ago, the level was around 280 parts per million, so it's increased by over a third since then. As a result, it's estimated that global temperatures have already increased by almost 1 degree Celsius. This increase changes the climate and affects the weather in many parts of the world. Many places, such as Northwest Europe, are expected to become warmer and wetter, and we've seen winter storms becoming worse in this region. Other places, such as sub-Saharan Africa, are expected to become hotter and drier, with deserts growing in area and seriously affecting farmland. Ice in the polar regions will melt and sea levels will rise, which will put coastal cities in greater danger of flooding. Clearly, we need to reduce and eventually stop using non-renewable resources like coal, oil, and gas. It may well be true that fracking can slow down global warming for a while and allow us to develop better renewable resources. However, these resources, like wind, wave, and solar power, are currently far more expensive to develop than shale gas production. On top of that, they take a long time to develop and start paying for themselves. Consumers have to pay higher bills to help the development of cleaner sources, and energy companies don't want to lose customers by asking them to pay more. Consequently, it's important for international organizations like the United Nations and national governments to support the development of renewable resources. The problem here, of course, is that governments usually think of short-term answers to energy problems and not longer-term ones. They're afraid that if they reduce the production and use of gas and oil, their economies will do worse than other economies, so they don't want to take action to increase the use of renewable sources. As I mentioned earlier, there are many people in different countries like Canada, the UK, and France who don't support fracking, especially if it's going to take place near where they live. Environmental groups also oppose fracking, not just because they want to protect people living in areas where fracking is planned, but also because they see fracking as part of the old way of doing things, like burning coal, oil, and gas, and increasing global warming. They want to see continued action and are trying to persuade governments to develop wind, wave, and solar power, as well as other renewable forms of energy, to fight global warming and ensure the supply of energy in the future. Certainly, coal, oil, and gas will run out one day, and if we haven't developed other forms of renewable energy, we'll then have serious problems with supplying energy to the growing world population, and the problems of fracking will seem relatively unimportant.
Practice. Identifying the topic. Directions. Listen to the talk and then choose the statement that best answers the question. Question 1 refers to the following talk.
I am pleased to introduce Mr. Lee Kim, author of Amazon Adventure. Mr. Kim, a retired lawyer, amateur photographer, and now a writer, spent the last year travelling by canoe down the Amazon River. He will discuss his travels in the Amazon region on which he based his book and show some of the photographs he took during his trip. He's sure to have some amazing stories, so hold on to your seats.
Number 1. What will Mr. Kim talk about? Question 2 refers to the following talk.
Thank you all for taking the time to attend this meeting. I'd like to keep it brief, so let me get straight to the point. Staff members have been making unauthorized charges to the office expense account for things like lunches and taxi rides that are not related to your jobs. As a result of this, in the future, all charges to the office expense account must be approved by me ahead of time.
Number 2. What is the topic of the meeting? Question 3 refers to the following announcement.
All schools will be closed today because of last night's snowstorm. The streets are still icy and dangerous for cars and buses. It is possible that schools will remain closed for several days, as it could take some time to get all the streets cleared and safe for travel. Listen to the evening news to find out tomorrow's school schedule.
Number 3. What is the purpose of this announcement? Question 4 refers to the following talk.
Do you get your sports news from television? Are you getting tired of all the commercial interruptions on TV? You don't have to be annoyed by commercials anymore. Our magazine gives you all the latest sports news commercial-free. Read it to find out what's happening in the world of football, baseball, and basketball. Learn all about your favorite athletes. Our magazine gives you all this and more. Subscribe today.
Number 4. What is the magazine about? Question 5 refers to the following advertisement.
Let Services Inc. plan your next conference. We take care of it all. Reserving rooms, printing schedules, ordering food, arranging entertainment. Our experienced planners take the headache out of conferences. Services Inc. guarantees that your next conference will be a success. Call today for your free initial consultation.
Number 5. What kind of business is advertised? Question 6 refers to the following announcement.
Winter weather got you down? Chase those winter blues away by taking a trip to a sun-filled island. We offer both weekend and week-long packages to the Sunshine Islands. Choose a cruise, stay at a resort, or relax at a quaint village inn. Take a fast-paced tour of the island hotspots, or opt for a slow-paced, low-key visit to the beach. You'll love our luxury accommodations and our economical prices. Call today to book your tour.
Number 6. What is this announcement about? Practice. Identifying the audience. Directions. Listen to the talk and then choose the statement that best answers the question. Question 1 refers to the following talk.
Welcome to Introduction to Economics. The textbook for this course, Economics for the New Millennium, is available at the university bookstore. The price is a bit steep, but I think you will find it is well worth it. Please bring your books to the next class. There will be 2 exams, a midterm and a final, in addition to which you will write several short research papers.
Number 1. Who is this talk directed to? Question 2 refers to the following talk.
All of you need to be aware of our return policy. Please don't accept any returns from customers without a dated receipt. Also, make sure all returned items are in good condition before accepting them. Check the items carefully, as we have had problems in the past with customers returning damaged goods. Remember, we issue store credit, not cash, for returns. If you receive complaints about this, please let me know.
Number 2. Who is the speaker talking to? Question 3 refers to the following talk.
You have reached Dr. Galbraith's office. If this is an emergency, please hang up and call an ambulance. If you would like to make an appointment or ask for medical advice, please call back during our regular office hours. We are open from 10 to 6 Monday through Friday and from 9 to 12 on the first Saturday of each month. You need to make an appointment because we don't accept walk-ins. Thank you.
Number 3. Who is this message for? Question 4 refers to the following talk.
Remind the passengers that we will be landing shortly. Check to make sure all seat belts are fastened and ask the passengers to turn off all cell phones and recording devices. Find out if there is anyone with small children requiring extra assistance or if anyone needs help getting to a connecting flight.
Number 4. Who is the speaker talking to? Question 5 refers to the following talk.
The following is a public service announcement brought to you by Radio XYZ. Because of the drought, government officials are asking all city residents to conserve water. Residents are asked not to fill their swimming pools or water their gardens until further notice. Right now, the government is asking residents to do this on a voluntary basis. Although if the situation becomes severe, it is possible that fines will be imposed. Stay tuned to Radio XYZ for all the latest updates.
Number 5. Who is this talk directed to? Question 6 refers to the following talk.
Thank you for calling the City Hotline, your information source for all city events. For theater schedules and ticket orders, press 1. For museum information, including information on special exhibits, the lecture series at the Art Museum, and the Foreign Film Series at the History Museum, press 2. To hear about upcoming sports events at the City Stadium, press 3. To speak to an operator, please stay on the line.
Number 6. Who would call this telephone number? Practice. Identifying a location. Directions. Listen to the talk and then choose the statement that best answers the question. Question 1 refers to the following announcement.
We are having a sale on specialty coffee. Today only, you can get 2 pounds of coffee for the price of 1. All of our South American and Central American blends are on sale. Our coffee is available whole bean or ground. Coffee is located on aisle 5 next to the produce section. There is a limit of 4 pounds per customer.
Number 1. Where would you hear this announcement? Question 2 refers to the following announcement.
Good morning, passengers. This is the Green Line train to the airport. Please remember that the specially marked seats next to the doors are reserved for physically challenged passengers. Smoking, eating, and drinking are not allowed. Next stop, Central Square. Transfer there to the Blue Line for all uptown destinations.
Number 2. Where is this announcement being made? Question 3 refers to the following announcement.
All members of the soccer team are reminded that the bus to the out-of-town game will leave from the front of the school at 3:15. Please be on the bus and ready to go by then. The computer club will meet in the auditorium today, and the Spanish club will meet in the cafeteria. Due to the illness of several of its members, the graduation dance committee meeting has been postponed until next week.
Number 3. Where would you hear this announcement? Question 4 refers to the following message.
Hi, it's Martha. I guess you've already left home. Okay, well, I'm leaving the gym now. I had a great workout, and now I'm really hungry and looking forward to dinner. So you'd better not be late. It'll probably take me about 20 minutes to get to the restaurant. I'm walking because I don't want to have to park the car. See you soon.
Number 4. Where is Martha going? Question 5 refers to the following announcement.
Move to the back. Move to the back, please. The fare's $1.50, exact change only. Please stand behind the white line. Move away from the door, please. I can't go anywhere until you let me close the door. Thank you. Next stop, 5th Avenue. 5th Avenue and the downtown shopping district.
Number 5. Where would you hear this announcement? Question 6 refers to the following talk.
To your right are several paintings by Picasso. Close examination shows the fine brushwork he used. These paintings represent some of Picasso's lesser-known work and are among our more recent acquisitions. We'll take a restroom break next, then continue on to the second-floor galleries, where we'll view works by 19th century artists. We'll start in the East Room, which houses our collection of pastoral landscapes.
Number 6. Where can this talk be heard?
Short Talk 1.
This is your captain. I hope you're enjoying the flight. It's a beautiful day out there. Off the left of the aircraft, you can see Mount Rushmore, and on the right, the approach to Deadwood, South Dakota. Our radar indicates some turbulence ahead, so I'm going to ask you all to fasten your seatbelts and stay in your seats.
Short Talk 2.
Welcome aboard our tropical garden tour. I'm Kathy, your tram operator and tour guide. Please remain seated in the tram for the duration of the tour. I also ask that you please keep from leaning out the windows. Sometimes I'll be taking us very close to some large tree branches, and I don't want anyone getting hurt. Also, please refrain from picking any leaves or flowers. Our plants are for everyone to enjoy. So much for the precautions. Our first stop is coming up on your left. It's our rare orchid collection. About half of these plants are in full bloom. Some give off a very pleasant scent, and they're all colourful.
Short Talk 3.
Next week is our community cleanup drive. Last year it was a dismal failure. Only 15 people showed up. This year we hope to do better, much better. I want to see all of you at this year's event. To help convince you to participate, I remind you that making our neighborhood clean of trash and litter is for your benefit. Also, to help you convince members of your family to join the drive, remind them that when we finish, there will be free hot dogs and refreshments, as well as games for the kids. See you next Saturday. We'll start at 10 in the morning and finish at 1 in the afternoon.
Short Talk 4.
Hello, welcome to Sunday Evening Radio News Talk. Our guest this evening is Dr. Quimby Jones, Professor of Economics at National University. During the first half hour of the show, Dr. Jones will talk about the current economic situation in our country, especially about the problems in the agricultural sector, and answer your questions about the economy. So please call us at 649-555-2594 to speak with Dr. Jones. Following that, we will have our usual weekly news review. During the last 10 minutes of the show, we will read from your letters and emails commenting on last week's show. So settle in for the next hour to enjoy Sunday Evening Radio News Talk.
Short Talk 5.
Good afternoon, class. Today we'll continue our discussion of ancient Chinese history. I'm sorry, the video I plan to show is unavailable. Instead, I have some slides to show you. These slides show some examples of ancient Chinese art and architecture, some views of the Great Wall, and some other things. If you read the assignment in your textbook, then you already have some background on the building of the Great Wall. Speaking of assignments, I have some articles for you to read for next week, some of the best written on the subject of Chinese history, in my opinion. Also, don't forget that next week we have a special guest, Dr. Smith, our own university president, who will talk about his recent...
Questions 1 through 3 are based on this announcement.
Paging Glasgow-bound passenger Kim, Mr. Chang Soo Kim. Mr. Kim, please come to the ticket counter of British Airways International or pick up one of the white information telephones located throughout the airport to receive an important message.
Number 1. Where is this announcement being made? Number 2. Why is Mr. Kim being paged? Number 3. Where are the white telephones located? Questions 4 through 6 are based on this announcement.
Attention shoppers. It's time for Seafood Month again at Food King.
Be sure to stop by our fresh seafood department to see our catch of the day. Today's catch is delicious salmon steaks, perfect for grilling over charcoal. Today only, these salmon steaks are 2 for the price of 1. And while you're at it, stop by our bakery for some French bread, still warm from the oven.
Number 4. Who is the audience for this talk? Number 5. What is being offered at a special price? Number 6. How long is the special price being offered? Questions 7 through 9 are based on this announcement.
Attention all passengers, this is your captain speaking. There is a 4-year-old boy named Nicholas who says he became separated from his mother and father in the snack bar on deck A. He's waiting for his parents in the purser's office on deck C. And to all our other passengers, we should be docking in the next few minutes. I hope you've enjoyed your trip despite the rough seas.
Number 7. Where is this announcement being made? Number 8. Who is Nicholas? Number 9. What problem is mentioned? Questions 10 through 12 are based on this talk.
The next 2-hour tour of Monument Cavern will depart in 15 minutes. You may purchase your tickets in the gift shop. Tickets are $6 for adults, $4 for children 6 to 12, and children under 6 are free. As soon as you have purchased your tickets, please come to the elevators at the north side of the building. The elevators will take you down to the top level of the cave.
Number 10. What will people see on the tour? Number 11. How long does the tour last? Number 12. At what age must someone purchase a full-price ticket? Questions 13 through 15 refer to this announcement.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have reached our cruising altitude of 36,000 feet, and we're about 60 miles northwest of Flagstaff, Arizona. Those of you seated on the right-hand side of the aircraft should be able to see the Grand Canyon off in the distance. We're estimating our time of arrival at Denver International Airport at around 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, about 2 hours from now. We're running about 20 minutes late due to our delayed departure from Los Angeles. In just a few minutes, our cabin attendants will begin food and beverage service. But for now, we'd like to invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight.
Number 13. What is the destination of this flight? Number 14. When will this plane be landing? Number 15. What will probably be served on this flight?
Questions 1 to 2. Listen to a conversation between a teacher and a student.
Professor Mueller, I've almost finished preparing my presentation for your class, but I'm not really satisfied with it. Could you give me some advice?
I'll be happy to. What topic did you choose?
It's about methods of predicting earthquakes, but so far it's just a lot of facts and figures. How can I make it more interesting?
Maybe you could use some computer graphics to help the class make sense of your statistics.
Number 1. What will the main topic of this talk probably be? Number 2. For what class is the man probably preparing a presentation?
Questions 3 to 4. Listen to a conversation that takes place on a college campus.
Hi there, Dr. Newman. Do you remember me?
Oh, sure. We met at the reception in the dean's office last week, didn't we?
That's right. I'm Alice Hart. Are you on your way to a class?
Yes, I am, but I'm not in any great hurry. How about you?
Me too. I've got a German class in a few minutes.
Well, I'm going to a language class myself. You see, I teach signing.
Signing?
Right, signing. Signing is just a short way of saying American Sign Language. It's the language deaf people use to communicate.
Number 3. Who are the people taking part in this conversation? Number 4. What will the rest of the conversation probably be about?
Questions 5 and 6. Listen to the following conversation.
I'm in Professor Quinn's psychology class. She told us that she'd put some articles on reserve for her class.
Yes, those would be at the reserve desk.
Do I need a library card to look at those articles?
No, just a student ID card. If you've never checked out any reserve materials, I can tell you what you need to do.
Number 5. What will the main topic of this conversation probably be? Number 6. Where does this conversation probably take place?
Questions 7 to 9. Listen to a conversation that takes place at a hospital.
Good afternoon, Dr. Marshall. I know you must be very busy, so I appreciate your taking some time to talk to me.
Well, that's all right. What can I do for you?
Well, I'm interested in a career in hospital administration. My academic advisor suggested I speak to you. I was hoping you could give me some information about the field.
I'd be glad to. Is there something particular you wanted to know?
I was wondering what type of educational background a hospital administrator needs. Is a degree in medicine required?
No, not necessarily. Some hospital administrators are medical doctors, but many of us aren't. My own doctoral degree is in public administration.
Number 7. Why does the woman want to talk to Dr. Marshall? Number 8. What is Dr. Marshall's occupation? Number 9. What is Dr. Marshall's attitude toward the woman?
Question 10. Listen to the following conversation.
Come on, Dorothy. Turn off that television and let's go. The softball game starts in 20 minutes.
Just a second. I want to find out who won the race.
What race? A marathon?
Well, it's kind of a marathon, but for dogs and dog sledders. It's called the Iditarod. It's run every year in Alaska.
Number 10. What will the main topic of this conversation probably be? Questions 11 and 12. Listen to the following conversation.
Well, I had a nice relaxing vacation. How about you, Tina?
I wouldn't exactly call it relaxing, but it was interesting.
I remember you said you were either going to Europe or you were going to work at your parents' company.
I changed my mind and didn't do either of those. My anthropology professor talked me into volunteering for an archaeological project in New Mexico.
That does sound interesting.
Number 11. Who is Tina? Number 12. What will the two speakers probably discuss?
Questions 13 and 14. Listening to a telephone conversation.
Good morning. Thanks for calling the sales office of Hillman & Johnson Publishers.
Yes, hello. This is Dave Gruning. I'm the manager of Kennedy Bookstore at Southwestern State University. I'm calling to check on the availability of a textbook, Case Studies in International Business, for the spring semester.
Let me just check that on my computer. Let's see. Is that the text by Sternberg?
That's right. I'll need at least 120 copies sent to the bookstore at the latest by next Wednesday.
I can't really promise they'll be there by next Wednesday. It may be the following week.
But that class starts on Monday of the following week.
Number 13. Who is the woman who answers the phone? Number 14. When does this conversation take place?
Questions 15 and 16. Listen to a conversation that takes place in a university office.
Hi, how can I help you?
I'm looking for an application form for the graduate school. Can I pick one up here?
No, this is the financial aid office. Graduate admissions is across campus from here. Do you know where Nicholson Hall is? It's in the office building next to that.
I'm not sure. I'm not very familiar with this campus.
Number 15. Where does the man probably work? Number 16. What will the rest of the conversation probably deal with? Questions 1 and 2. Listen to portion 1 of Conversation A.
I just read an article in a magazine that talked about different types of exercise. Guess what kind it recommended?
Let's see. Was it jogging?
No. According to the article, jogging can cause leg and foot injuries for some people.
Number 1. From what source did the woman get her information about exercising? Number 2. According to the woman, what is one of the disadvantages of jogging? Questions 3 and 4. Listen to portion 2 of Conversation A.
Then what kind of exercise did the article suggest?
Cross-country skiing. The article said cross-country skiing exercises almost all of the muscle systems of the body, and that it's good for the heart and lungs.
Cross-country skiing? I would never have guessed that. Tell me, how is cross-country skiing different from downhill skiing?
Well, for one thing, you don't have to go to the mountains to go cross-country skiing. You can go anywhere there's snow.
Number 3. What form of exercise did the article recommend? Number 4. What can be inferred about cross-country skiing from this conversation? Questions 5 and 6. Listen to portion 3 of Conversation A.
But what if there isn't enough snow to go skiing?
The article said that there are exercise machines that provide almost the same kind of exercise. The only problem is they're fairly expensive.
I see. So if you have one of these machines, you can get the best kind of exercise and not even get your ears cold.
Number 5. What does the article suggest people do if there isn't enough snow for skiing? Number 6. What is one disadvantage of a cross-country skiing machine? Questions 7 to 8. Listen to portion 1 of Conversation B.
You look exhausted this morning, Steve.
I am pretty tired. I stayed up nearly all night getting ready for a midterm exam this morning.
Have you gotten the results of the test yet?
Yes, and unfortunately, my grade could have been much better. No matter how much time I spend studying, I never seem to do well on tests.
Number 7. Why is Steve tired? Number 8. How does Steve feel about the grade he received on the test? Questions 9 and 10. Listen to portion 2 of Conversation B.
You know, Steve, if I were you, I'd consider taking some of the seminars offered by the Study Skills Center.
The Study Skills Center? Never heard of it.
Well, it's run by a group of graduate students and professors who help undergraduate students improve their study techniques. See, last semester I had to do a research paper for a sociology course, but I had no idea how to collect research materials until I took one of the seminars at the center.
Number 9. Who are the Study Skills Center's seminars designed to help? Number 10. How was the woman helped by the seminar that she took? Questions 11 to 13. Listen to portion 3 of Conversation B.
What kind of seminars does the center offer that could help me?
They have one on test-taking skills. There's also a seminar that teaches you to manage your time efficiently. You should find that useful, I should think.
You're probably right. Where is the center?
They hold most of their seminars in the library, but the main office is in Staunton Hall, right across the quadrangle from the physics tower.
You know, I think I'll go over there right now.
Why don't you wait until tomorrow? Right now, you should go home and catch up on your sleep.
Number 11. What is one type of seminar that the woman thinks Steve would find useful? Number 12. Where is the Study Skills Center's main office? Number 13. What does the woman suggest Steve do next?
Questions 14 and 15. Listen to portion 1 of Conversation C.
Hello, Roger. You're looking thoughtful today. What's on your mind?
Well, Margie, you know the public television station is having an auction to raise money. They need to build a new transmitter tower so that viewers can get a clearer picture. I watch that channel a lot. I'd like to help out, but I don't really have anything to donate to the auction, and I can't afford to buy something new.
Why not donate a service?
What do you mean?
Well, Roger, you're an experienced carpenter, right? Why don't you offer 2 hours of your carpentry work for free to whoever makes the highest bid?
Number 14. Why is the television station trying to raise money? Number 15. What does the woman suggest that Roger do? Questions 16 and 17. Listen to portion 2 of Conversation C.
That's a great idea. Thanks. And say, I know you watch some shows on that channel yourself. Why don't you donate a service too?
You know, I'd like to help, but I have final exams coming up, so I'd better not make too many commitments. But I will come to the auction, and I'll bring my parents with me. I know they'd like to get some expert carpentry work done.
Number 16. What excuse does the woman make for not donating a service? Number 17. What does the woman imply about her parents?
Questions 1 and 2. Listen to the following talk.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Larrabee Springs Wildlife Preserve. Today, you'll have the chance to see one of the largest herds of buffaloes in North America and many other types of wildlife. I hope all of you have your cameras with you.
Number 1. Who is the speaker? Number 2. What will the talk probably be about? Questions 3 and 4. Listen to a talk given at an athletic club.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for coming out to the Edgewood Athletic Club for our exhibition match. Before the match gets underway, I'd like to give you all a little background on how the sport of handball is played. Even though it's a game with a long tradition, some people aren't as familiar with the rules of this sport as they might be with, say, those of tennis.
Number 3. What is the purpose of this talk? Number 4. When is this talk being given? Questions 5 and 6. Listen to a talk given at a factory.
Good morning. On behalf of our management team and our workers, I'd like to welcome all of you to our plant. You may have wondered, how do soft drinks get in those cans? How are the cans sealed? But at the end of the tour, you'll know the answers. Now, please follow me out onto the factory floor.
Number 5. Who is the audience for this talk? Number 6. What will the main topic for this talk probably be? Questions 7 and 8. Listen to the following talk.
Since all of you have expressed interest in joining the university dance program, I probably don't have to say much about the physical and psychological rewards of being in a dance program such as this one. Instead, I want to concentrate on some of the drawbacks, the demands that will be put on your time, and the sacrifices you'll be called on to make if you are chosen for the program.
Number 7. What will the main topic of this talk probably be? Number 8. What is the speaker's probable occupation?
Questions 9 and 10. Listen to the following talk.
As president of the State Historical Society, I'd like to call this meeting to order and welcome all our members and guests. Tonight, I'm going to give you a short presentation on some famous shipwrecks, especially shipwrecks that took place in the waters off New England.
Number 9. Who is the speaker? Number 10. What will this talk probably concern?
Questions 1 and 2. Listen to portion 1 of Talk A.
I'd like to welcome all of you to what is, I think, the most unusual course offered by the biology department, the ecology of coral reefs. This course is unique because of our research methods. We don't just collect data from the library. Instead, we go to a coral reef in the Virgin Islands to do field studies.
Number 1. What does the speaker imply about the course? Number 2. How will students do research in this class? Questions 3 and 4. Listen to portion 2 of Talk A.
To prepare you for this trip, we'll first do some formal classroom work in biology. We'll also be going to the university pool to practice scuba diving and to learn the basics of underwater photography. And we'll be talking about precautions you must take to avoid damaging the reef. A coral reef is a very fragile environment, as you'll see.
Number 3. Which of the following will be studied in a formal classroom setting? Number 4. How does the speaker characterize tropical reefs? Questions 5 and 6. Listen to portion 3 of Talk A.
Because of the nature of this course, it does require a certain financial commitment on your part. The department can only provide basic equipment for you. You have to pay for your own airfare to the Virgin Islands, as well as for your food and lodging. There are a few limited scholarships available for those who might have financial problems. See me after class if you're interested in applying for one of these. Any questions?
Number 5. What will the department provide the students in this class? Number 6. What does the speaker suggest for those who might have problems with the costs of this course? Questions 7 and 8. Listen to portion 1 of Talk B.
The largest American land mammals are bears. Maybe because bears can stand up and walk on 2 legs, We humans have always found them fascinating. Another characteristic bears have in common with humans is their range of appetite. As a matter of fact, they'll eat almost anything: berries, roots, nuts, meat, fish, and of course, they're particularly fond of honey.
Number 7. The speaker suggests that bears are interesting to humans for what reason? Number 8. What does the speaker imply about the eating habits of bears? Questions 9 and 10. Listen to portion 2 of Talk B.
The largest bear is the giant Kodiak of Alaska. When this giant stands up, it may reach a height of 10 feet, and it may weigh up to 1,500 pounds. 10 feet tall and weighing 3/4 of a ton, what a sight they must be! Outside of Alaska, the largest bear in the United States is the grizzly bear. There aren't many of these bears left in North America, probably only a few thousand. Most of those live in Yellowstone National Park in Wyoming.
Number 9. How tall can Kodiak bears be when they are standing? Number 10. Where do most grizzly bears live? Questions 11 and 12. Listen to portion 3 of Talk B.
Now, the most common bear in the United States is the black bear, which you'll see in many parts of the country. These bears are smaller than grizzlies and may seem friendly, but watch out. Like all bears, they are unpredictable and can be dangerous.
Number 11. What is the most common type of bear in the United States? Number 12. Which of the following can be inferred from the lecture about black bears? Questions 13 to 14. Listen to portion 1 of Talk C.
The skies above Earth are turning into a junkyard, according to space scientists. Ever since the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first satellite way back in 1957, virtually every launch has contributed to the amount of debris in Earth orbit. Luckily, most of this junk burns up after it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. But some will be up there in orbit for years to come.
Number 13. When did orbital debris first become a problem? Number 14. What happens to most pieces of orbital debris? Questions 15 to 16. Listen to portion 2 of Talk C.
Today, there are about 8,000 bodies in orbit being monitored from Earth. Out of all those, only around 300 to 400 are active and useful. There are also probably 500,000 pieces of debris too tiny to be monitored.
Number 15. How many orbital bodies are being monitored today? Number 16. Why is it impossible to monitor most pieces of orbital debris? Questions 17 and 18. Listen to portion 3 of Talk C.
Some orbital debris is as big as a bus, but most is in the form of tiny flecks of paint or pieces of metal. The debris also includes food wrappers, an astronaut's glove, the lens cap from a camera, broken tools, and bags of unwashed uniforms. The largest pieces, mostly empty booster rockets, are not necessarily the most dangerous because they can be detected and spacecraft can maneuver away from them. And the smallest particles generally cause only surface damage. However, a collision with a piece of metal only 1/8 of an inch in diameter, say about the size of an aspirin, could puncture the hull of a spacecraft or space station and cause a catastrophic depressurization. That's because these particles are moving so incredibly fast.
Number 17. Which of the following is probably most dangerous to astronauts on a spacecraft? Number 18. What makes particles in space so dangerous? Questions 19 to 21. Listen to portion 4 of Talk C.
So what can be done about this problem? Well, 2 engineers recently proposed a novel solution to the problem of orbital junk, a device that consists of an array of water-spraying cones lined with plastic fibers to collect the debris and canisters to store it in. I brought a model of this device along with me so you could see what it looks like. Although this invention is still in its conceptual stage, 2 possible uses have been proposed. It could be launched as a free-flying satellite that actively seeks out debris, or it could be launched into orbit with a spacecraft and serve as its shield.
Number 19. What did the speaker bring with her? Number 20. What role do the cones play in the device described in this portion of the talk? Number 21. What can be inferred about the device described in this portion of the talk?
Listening Comprehension, Vietnamese Standardized Test of English Proficiency. In this section of the test, you will have an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to understand conversations and talks in English. There are 3 parts in this section with special directions for each part. Answer all the questions on the basis of what is stated or implied by the speakers in the recording. There will be time for you to read the instructions and you will have a chance to check your work. The recording will be played once only. Time allowance is about 40 minutes, including 05 minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet. Part 1. Questions 1 to 8. Directions. In this part, you will hear 8 short announcements, or instructions. There is 1 question for each announcement or instruction. For each question, choose the right answer, A, B, C or D. Then, on the answer sheet, find the number of the question and fill in the space that corresponds to the letter of the answer that you have chosen. Now, let's listen to an example. On the recording, you will hear:
Hello. This is the travel agency returning your call. You left a message about the holiday you've booked, asking which meals are included in the cost during your stay at Sunny Hotel. Lunch and dinner are free, but if you wish to have breakfast in the hotel, you will need to pay an extra amount of money, depending on what you order. Let me know if I can help you with any other information. Goodbye.
On the test book, you will read, which meal is not included in the price of the holiday? A. Breakfast. B. Lunch. C. Dinner. D. All. The correct answer is A. Breakfast. Now, let's begin with the first question. First, you'll have some time to read the questions 1 to 8. Question 1.
What is the purpose of the message?
Good afternoon. I'm calling for Julie Gibbs. This is Donald Carson from Dr. Kim's office. I just wanted to confirm your appointment for your annual physical checkup on Friday, June 27th at 3 o'clock. The checkup shouldn't last longer than an hour and a half. Since this is your first visit with Dr. Kim, we'd like you to come to the clinic about 20 minutes early so that we can create a file for you. If you cannot make the appointment, please contact the office and let us know at least a day in advance. Thanks.
Question 2.
What is being advertised?
Do you need a way to relieve your stress? Whether you're looking for a full-time membership or just a day of relaxation, Istanbul Spa has something for you. We have several different services for all your treatment needs. This week we're offering a full-day service, including a full-body massage, aromatherapy, and a facial for just one low price. You can also enjoy our hospitality with a healthy and refreshing beverage at our tea lounge.
Question 3.
According to the announcement, what will be built near Berryville?
I am very pleased to announce that city leaders in Berryville have finally approved a proposal to enlarge the airport on Hathor Road. We have given the building contract to Heaton Construction. The new terminal will join our older existing facilities. Berryville's population has been growing at a rapid rate over the past 15 years, due to the addition of a local university and the recent expansion of several businesses.
Question 4.
Who is this announcement probably for?
This announcement is for all assembly line employees. Please make sure to check your work schedule as soon as you arrive in the morning to see where you will be working for the day. You will need to sign in by putting your signature in the space by your name. After that, please check the announcement board next to the manager's office for any daily notices. Finally, don't forget to pick up your protective aprons and glasses from the safety area.
Question 5.
What is the purpose of the message?
Hi, Rose. This is Dorothy calling from the Personnel Department. I just wanted to know if you are free to join us for dinner tonight. A few of us will be leaving the office around 5:30 and going to the Thai restaurant. Our new colleague Sophia is coming as well. Anyway, if you'd like to join us, just meet us downstairs in front of the building at about 5. Sophia and I will be taking my car, and you are more than welcome to ride with us. Anyway, I hope to see you later. Bye!
Question 6.
What is this message about?
Thank you for calling the Tower Place Security Department. This office will be closing at 11 a.m. Wednesday morning as we relocate to the 10th floor. All security officers will be on duty during this time. The 10th floor office will be open at 9 a.m. Thursday. Please contact the security officer on duty, Roy Williams, at 555-7251 if you need to speak with security personnel after 11 on Wednesday. Thank you.
Question 7.
What is the purpose of the message?
Hello, Mr. Nakamura. This is Eric Parkman, manager of the Personnel Department for Linderman Enterprises. We received your resume last week for the accounting position in our shipping department. I was very impressed with your experience and education. I would like to schedule an interview at our office on Friday, April 29th at 10 o'clock. Please give me a call and let me know if the time is good for you. Thank you.
Question 8.
Who is the speaker?
Staff members of Winton Property Development, welcome to the 8th Annual Top Achievers Awards Dinner. When I founded Winton Property Development 13 years ago, I knew that I alone could not make the company the success that it is today. I knew that it would take people like you to help me achieve that goal. The reason why I host this dinner every year is to express my deep appreciation to everyone for working so hard for the continued growth of this company.
That is the end of part 1. Part 2. Questions 9 to 20. In this part, you will hear 3 conversations. The conversations will not be repeated. There are 4 questions for each conversation. For each question, choose the correct answer. A, B, C, or D. Questions 9 to 12 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 9 to 12.
Mr. Stone, this is Susan White from the Speedy Medical Centre. I am calling to remind you that you have an appointment with Dr. Johnson tomorrow at 11.
Ah, yes, thank you for reminding me. You know, if you hadn't called, I would have completely forgotten all about it. I've been so busy lately.
Well, we call all of our clients a day before their scheduled appointment. Anyway, please get here 10 minutes before your appointment, since there are some forms that you have to fill out. Also, don't forget to bring your insurance information.
Okay, I will remember to bring it with me. Thanks, and I will see you tomorrow then.
Questions 13 to 16 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 13 to 16.
I just read an article in the paper about the medical conference being held in the city this weekend. I'm really looking forward to going there.
Really? I am thinking of going as well. I really want to listen to the talk on that study about soybeans. A lot of my patients have been mentioning it to me lately.
Yes, my patients have been asking me about it too. Hey, do you want to go together this Saturday?
All right. My in-laws are coming for a visit this Sunday, so Saturday will be perfect.
Questions 17 to 20 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 17 to 20.
Listen to the conversation and mark your answer.
I think the customer was quite satisfied with the service we provided.
Yes, I think he was especially happy because he thought the warranty had expired. He managed to get the repair done at no cost to him.
Well, I am glad that we were able to help a good customer. You know, it's customers like that who will continue to come back to our store.
Yes, I agree with you. I think it's very important that we try to keep all of our customers happy.
That is the end of part 2. Part 3. Questions 21 to 35. In this part, you will hear 3 talks, lectures or conversations. The talks, lectures or conversations will not be repeated. There are 5 questions for each talk, lecture or conversation. For each question, choose the right answer. A, B, C or D. Questions 21 to 25 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 21 to 25.
Hi there. I was looking for information about becoming a political science major.
Sure. We have some brochures right here.
Thanks, but could I ask you a few questions?
No problem. Fire away.
Are there many requirements for political science?
Not really. Just you must take Political Science 1 and 2, a general history class, and a writing seminar.
I thought you had to take economics too.
Not for the general political science program, but there are a couple of specialized programs that have additional requirements.
Oh, really? What are they?
Well, there is the International Relations program. It is more interdisciplinary, so it requires economics and a second history credit. The 2 history credits have to be in different regions. There is also the Honors Political Science program. To get into that, you need to take the same economics class as the International Relations program and a special political science seminar. And you need to maintain over a B average in all those required courses.
Wow, that sounds difficult.
Yeah, not many people are qualified for the honors program. That's why it's considered more prestigious, I guess.
Is that all?
No. You also have to complete this form listing all the political science and related credits you have already taken or plan to take, and get the department chair to sign off on it.
Ugh, this is really a lot of work.
Yeah, but everyone has to do it. It's not different from any other majors. The department wants to know that you've thought about your major carefully and thoroughly, and that all the students are being realistic in their expectations.
Questions 26 to 30 refer to the following conversation. First, take some time to read the questions 26 to 30.
Hey, Clara, got a minute?
Oh, hi, Will. Sure, I've got plenty of time. What's the matter?
Did you see the posters saying that our debate club meeting tonight had been moved?
Oh, yes. You didn't get the email?
My computer hasn't been working these few days, so I can't get access to my mailbox. Anyway, why has it been moved?
That whole wing of the Student Union building is getting repainted today, so it's off limits until the paint dries, vented properly, and the workers clean everything up.
It's about time. The club offices in the student building have been looking run down for quite a while now. A new paint job would do them a world of good.
And the rooms are going to be repainted in a lighter color too. That old paint was too dark and depressing.
A lighter color would help everything look bigger too. Our debate club could use that.
Yeah, but we need more than just light paint. We've grown too big for that little room. We really need to move into a bigger place.
Any chance of that happening?
Not that I know of. Except for tonight, that is. Just for this once. We'll be meeting downstairs in Turner Auditorium.
That place is huge. Way too big for us.
I know, but it was the only place available tonight. And it was either there or else cancel the meeting altogether.
I guess it's better than canceling. Although, to be honest, I could use another week to prepare for my speech. I've been really busy with my classes lately.
Questions 31 to 35 refer to the following professor's lecture. First, take some time to read the questions 31 to 35.
Science fiction is very popular these days, in books, in movies, and on TV. Unfortunately, popular science fiction is often a lot more fiction and not so much science. One of the most common problems is science fiction's fascination with faster-than-light travel. We know that is impossible as it violates Einstein's basic theory of space and time. But on Star Trek and other science fiction shows, spaceships jump from star to star and galaxy to galaxy like you or I might want to drive to another city. In truth, the closest star to Earth, Proxima Centauri, is over 3 light-years away. That means traveling at the speed of light, the fastest speed anyone theoretically could travel. It would take 3 years to make it to our nearest neighbor. Other stars and galaxies are routinely thousands and millions of light-years away, making intergalactic travel an impossibility. Even if we grant that such space travel somehow was possible, there is no shortage of other errors in popular science fiction. In Star Wars and other films, spaceships swoop across the screen with their engines emitting a great roar. However, since space is a void, sound waves cannot travel. There is no sound in space. It is utterly silent. Gravity is another mystery in these films. Gravity depends mostly on mass. Spaceships are tiny compared to the mass of Earth. In space, there should be practically no gravity. And yet people in science fiction routinely walk around on their spaceships in space as comfortably as they would on Earth. That said, there have been a few scarce films that bothered to portray the science of spaceflight somewhat realistically. In 2001, A Space Odyssey, the ship must rotate to create artificial gravity. Outside the spaceship there is total silence, and the voyage from Earth to Jupiter takes many months. But such films are the exception, not the rule. While science fiction may be enjoyable, you should look elsewhere to learn about science.
This is the end of the listening paper. Now, you have 5 minutes to transfer your answers to your answer sheet.